Okay, Chris Word and First Business Rescue. Video today is going to explain how creditors are paid in a liquidation and in what order are they paid. So, what a liquidator's job to do, or an insolvency practitioner, remember it's the same thing, is when they're closing a company down, they're also trying to realise some money back to pay the creditors. So your creditors might be a bank, it might be a mortgage company, it might be a finance company, it might be HMRC, it might be all the above. And what a liquidator is going to do is they're going to liquidate the business and try and realise some assets. So your assets might be money owed in, you might have some plant machinery, there might be a building for sale, there might be some money in the bank. These are all things that are classed as company assets. So who gets paid first? Well, the person who gets paid first is the insolvency practitioner. So I get so many people who are on the phone and say, Chris, well, how are you going to get paid? Well, an insolvency practitioner is the first person to get paid in a liquidation. So if you've got some assets that have some value or you've got some cash in the bank, an insolvency practitioner will take their fees out of that first. Now, once they've taken their fees out, who gets paid next? Well, the next person to be paid is somebody called a secured creditor. So a secured creditor might be a factoring company or a finance company or a company that has a mortgage over the building. They'll get paid next. And then who gets paid? Well, after that, it's called it's preferential creditors. And preferential creditors are people like HMRC. A few years ago, HMRC's status as a creditor changed and they become a preferred creditor. So let's say, for instance, I don't know, you're a business that owes HMRC 100,000 quid, you owe some suppliers 30 grand, you owe some gas and electric, some business rates, yada, 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 and you've got 30 grand in the account and you're owed in 20 grand. Well, the money will come in, the insolvency practitioner will take their fees, and the next person to be paid, assuming you don't have any secured lending, will be HMRC. They'll get paid before anyone else. Now, after the secured creditors and the preferential creditors, the third people to be paid are something called unsecured creditors. What's an unsecured creditor? Well, an unsecured creditor that doesn't have preferential status is things like, the utility company, your suppliers, your rents, them types of things. Now, after that, who gets paid after that? Well, it's connected unsecured creditors. So what that means is you might have had another company, you own more than one company, and you have lent, your other company has lent your company some money. Well, they'll be paid then. And the last people to be paid are shareholders. Now, the reality is, right, I've done this for a good few years now. I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of liquidations. Secure creditors might get something, preferential creditors might get something, but the reality is on most liquidations after that, people are getting very little or nothing at all, which is very sad, but that's the reality of insolvency. So I hope you found this video useful. Chris Word and First Business Rescue. Any questions you want me to answer, please drop them in the section below. Good night.